We just saw The Pyramid, and on this show, I take my friends, we go see a movie, we review it in the car, and then we have a discussion. The review part's spoiler-free, so if you're trying to decide if this is the movie for you, we'll tell you whether we recommend it without spoiling anything. And then if you've already seen the movie or don't care about spoilers and don't care to see the movie and just want to hear what we thought, watch the whole video and we'll talk about the details of, you know, the final act and spoilers and things that happen in it. So, I didn't have, like, the highest hopes for this movie, and that might have been setting the bar too high. It reminds, like, the plot of it is similar to As Above, So Below. I was thinking that too when we started watching it, which the bulk of As Above, So Below happens in the Parisian catacombs. This takes place in this strange three-sided buried pyramid that they find. I thought it was clever that they had it happen during, like, the revolution in Egypt. I thought that was a neat, like, way to add suspense on top of everything else, because the government was, like, trying to get them out before they lost control, basically. Like, the United States, and, well, I assume they're all Americans, but, like, the archaeological team was trying to get in and see this pyramid before they got kicked out, and maybe kicked out forever, depending on who came into power after the revolution. And it starts out kind of on the wrong foot with a couple of jump scares. They go down into the pyramid, and then a lot of what you see is ruined by the trailer, which isn't a great thing. I didn't like a single one of the characters. They portrayed, like, everybody is just two-dimensional. They have one character trait so you can tell them apart. And it turns into a monster movie, which is fine, but the monster is really telegraphed, and it's almost like a foregone conclusion that this just isn't going to, nothing interesting is going to happen. And I'll talk more about the monster in the spoiler section, but it's basically, like, it was more interesting than something like Ouija, which is just a boring mess, but it's also just like 4 people underground fighting jump scares. I don't recommend it at all. I would skip it under all circumstances. What did you think?
I thought it was terrible.
Yeah.
I'm a horror movie fan, and I hated Ouija, and I thought Ouija was better than this.
Yeah.
The characters, you don't get to know them. They're all non-really redeemable. Little you do know about them, they kind of come off as jerks or annoying. So you don't really care whether they live or die. The people who make this movie need to go back and watch horror classics and learn how to build tension, because they don't. It's just around the corner, right behind you. And it lacked all imagination. As Above, So Below did it so much better.
And that's not a very good movie.
And that's not a great movie, yeah. They're just, I don't know if they've forgotten how to make good horror movies, or they just don't care anymore, and they're trying to cash grab. I mean, but it was bad.
I've seen a couple of people talk about this, and I tend to agree that what's happened is audiences that go to modern horror movies they won't stand for 20 minutes of build-up to a scare. You know, they won't stand for nothing happening for the first half of the movie, and then maybe like a couple of scary things and then something really shocking at the end.
Sadly, The Shining wouldn't be a success today.
No, not at all. And that's why something like, and we haven't gotten in Kansas City, but I've seen this movie, The Babadook, which is very much a return to that older style, and it's so much more successful because it's much more of a psychological thriller for the first half, so it's more what's really going on. You're trying to figure out the mystery instead of, jump scare. And the thing with the jump scares is that, it satisfies you for like a tenth of a second that, something scary happened, but it breaks all the tension and they have to start completely over again. And so if they do 4 jump scares in the same scene, it's like by the third one, you're like, all right, when's this going to be over?
Yeah. It just wasn't very good at all. And
we need to talk about the monster.
Yeah, we got to get to the spoilers.
So we're going to get into spoilers now.
Don't
watch the movie. Let's go ahead and listen to the rest of what we're going to say, because we'll help you understand why you shouldn't bother. So there's 2 monsters basically in the movie. There's like a herd of these like rat dog things.
Kind of, they're based off the Egyptian Sphinx cat.
Yeah. They're kind of creepy, but they're kind of cool too. Like, there's a bunch of them kind of scurrying around. They're not like all powerful or anything like that. But then they finally get to like the sarcophagus or whatever, and instead of finding like a mummy or something like that, they find Anubis. Like, literally Anubis is in this movie. And I'm sure there are people that'll watch this and see like the like fungus and stuff that's like affecting everybody and say, well, maybe it was all hallucinations and whatever else. But what they show the viewer is, you see Anubis. The first time you see him, he does like a Deep Blue Sea Samuel L. Jackson kill, like takes out the lead guy, like the best actor in the movie, takes him out like in a scare, and then he captures the girl, and they show him up close, which is a huge mistake because he looks terrible.
He's CGI'd to crap. It's bad.
Well, I mean, there's a practical version of him and there's a CGI version of him. You see both. And like when he's up close to her, like it's a practical effect, but it looks like something out of Labyrinth. Like, it's not particularly scary. There was a couple of shots where like they were able to avoid him because they could hide in the dark with night vision. That didn't make any sense. There was a scene where like he basically could have just walked over and torn her apart, but he like stayed over on the left side of the screen, almost like they shot her standing there and reacting to something, and then they like forgot to make him scary, so he's just sort of standing there like, hey, what's up?
What killed me, and the point that I completely lost interest in the movie, was when they kill off the best character.
Yeah.
She's lying there. She's already dead, pretty much. But then the little cat creatures come out and start chewing at her. And when they show it, it's so very clear that she's there, but everything else in the scene is not. It's like green screen.
Yeah.
And it is so painfully obvious. Like, it doesn't even look like they're... It looks like they cut and paste them into
As
the screen.
an example, so
bad.
she's laying on the floor and she's been impaled on these spikes, so she can't get up, but her arms are free. And the first like couple of little rat guys that come up and start gnawing on one of her arms, and she just lays there and takes it.
Yeah.
Like, she's not batting them away, she's not fighting or struggling, she's just like laying there like, well, I guess this will work in post.
She's not even looking directly at them, so you know she can't see them. It completely took me out of the movie. And
it's the VFX director and the actual director of actors not working together well.
Yeah, honestly, after that, I almost fell asleep. I
was falling asleep too.
It was just really bad. It felt like something I would see on Sci-Fi Channel.
Yeah.
And I've seen better things on Sci-Fi Channel.
Yeah, and we're seeing this at like 6 o'clock at night. Like, it's not late. It's not a time when I would normally be falling asleep. I'm usually editing videos till like 2 or 3 in the morning, and yeah, I was starting to, like, the jump scares were like kind of waking me up a little bit. It's like, oh yeah, the movie's still going.
The only jump scare that truly caught me off guard was the first time Anubis, you actually see that there is some monster when he kills the main actor.
Mm-hmm.
That one caught me completely off guard.
Well, you see his whole hand come through the body and go out.
Yeah, it was, but it was just, and then how is he still alive? Like, you see Anubis holding that guy's heart, but he's clearly still alive.
Yeah, and there was some kind of, I mean, they were trying to, like, explain that within the context of the Egyptian lore, like he was weighing the heart. He was looking for the pure heart that would let him through.
But then he stomps a reporter.
For no reason.
For no reason at all.
Yeah.
Just, like, it...
For a jump scare. It was for a cheap jump scare.
Yeah, it was so bad. It was so bad. I put this on the level of Annabelle. And Annabelle was really bad.
Yeah. This was more, I mean, Annabelle was bad in sort of a, it still had a little bit of suspense to it.
Yeah.
This doesn't even have that. It's just like beating you over the head with jump scares and obnoxious characters.
If you want to go see a movie that's like this, just go rent The Descent. Mm-hmm. Go rent As Above, So Below.
Yeah.
If you can get a hold of Babadook, do it.
Well, I mean, that would be a good movie to see. But yeah, if you wanted to see, I mean, As Above, So Below is a perfectly fine replacement for watching this, and a much, a much better use of your time, but it's still not a good movie.
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, you're slightly upgrading. You're moving from sci-fi to TNT's movies for guys who like movies.
There you go. TNT boom.
There you go.
All right. Well, anyway, that was the pyramid. The pyramid
Triangle,
of crap.
Actually,
yeah, whatever that means. Like the 3-sided. It's like a D4 or something.
Yeah, that's what it was. It was all a
Anubis's giant D4.
Yeah, they had to roll for initiative, and everybody rolled ones.
Everybody failed.
It was terrible.
Crit fail.
That's right.
Crit happens, ladies and gentlemen.
We're geeks. There we go.
If you like the way we do these reviews, please like the video, subscribe, check out all the written and video reviews at DaleMaxfield.com. We'll see you next time.